Jabra just released the Evolve3 series, and on paper, it looks like it could replace both your work headset and your everyday headphones. But there is one big catch. These don't have a mic boom. So in this video, we're going to test everything that matters, including the microphone, noise cancellation, wireless range, sound quality, and see if these can actually compete with headphones from Sony, Bose, or Apple.
Evolve3 75, Evolve3 85, Evolve75, Evolve3 85, Evolve3 75, Evolve3 85, Evolve3 75, Evolve3 85.
All right, you just heard a quick sample of different microphone tests, but more is coming later. In this video, we're taking a deep dive into the brand new Jabra Evolve3 85 and Evolve3 75. This series is interesting because it's designed to bridge the gap between consumer headphones and professional business headsets. Before we get into it though, if you want to learn more, we'll include a link in the description and comments directly to a page that we created for the Evolve3 series. And if you want to verify if this headset series is best for you, or if there's others worth considering, contact one of our advisors today, and we'll save you a ton of time and hassle. It takes researching hundreds of these different headsets and the different variations that they come in. So the idea is simple: one headset for work calls, meetings, music, travel, and everyday use. But the real question is whether it can actually do all of these things really well. Before we get into the testing though, it's important to understand who this headset series is really designed for. Traditional office headsets are built primarily for communication. They usually include a mic boom and are optimized for voice isolation during calls. Consumer headphones from companies like Sony, Bose, or Apple are built primarily for music and entertainment. The Evolve3 series sits somewhere right in the middle. You get a modern headphone style design, but with business features like UC platform compatibility, dedicated call controls, and a USB adapter for more reliable connection and longer wireless range. One of the first things you'll really notice about the Evolve3 series is the design. These are extremely slim compared to other office headphones and are surprisingly really lightweight as well. The Evolve3 85 weighs about 220 grams, which is roughly about the weight of an apple. That makes them comfortable enough for long work sessions without feeling heavy on your head. They also fold down into a portable travel pouch, making them easy to throw into your backpack or laptop bag. For hybrid workers or frequent travelers, portability like this is a huge advantage. Another feature worth mentioning is the replaceable battery. Most headphones today are essentially disposable once the battery begins to degrade after a few years. With the Evolve3 series, the battery can actually be replaced, which can extend the life of your headset significantly. For most companies deploying headsets across teams or anyone planning to keep their headset long-term, that's a very practical design decision that Jabra made. Connectivity is another area where business headsets tend to differ from consumer headphones. The Evolve3 series includes a dedicated USB Bluetooth dongle that connects directly to your computer. That might not sound exciting, but it actually solves one of the most common issues people run into with consumer headphones. Bluetooth built into many computers can be inconsistent and cause unwanted issues that you won't want to deal with. Using a dedicated USB dongle provides a much more stable connection and gives you better integration with platforms like Microsoft Teams, Zoom, RingCentral, Cisco WebEx, and many others. Another important feature for work calls is Sidetone. Sidetone is a feature that allows you to hear your own voice slightly while speaking during a call. Without it, headphones can block too much sound and make you feel like you're talking inside of a bubble, which often causes people to start speaking louder than necessary. With the Evolve3 series, Sidetone works even with active noise cancellation enabled, which helps maintain a natural speaking experience. Now let's talk about the differences between the two models. The Evolve3 85 uses an over-ear design, meaning that the ear cushions fully surround your ears. This naturally provides better passive noise isolation and typically improves the effectiveness of active noise cancellation. The Evolve3 75 uses an on-ear design, which makes it lighter and slightly more portable, but it won't isolate quite as much outside noise since it rests against your ears instead of fully surrounding your ears. The Evolve3 85 also includes an aux port, which allows you to connect using a standard 3.5mm cable. So even if the battery runs low or you're connecting to a device without Bluetooth, you still have the option to use it as a wired headset. Between Bluetooth, the USB dongle, USB-C charging, and aux, there's quite a bit of flexibility in how you connect. Now let's run a more detailed microphone test so you can hear how the microphone performs in different environments.
All right, so this is what it would sound like on the iPhone microphone. There is some cars driving by, as you can see. And then we're gonna switch over to both of the other headsets.
Okay, now we're on the Jabra Evolve3 75. There's going to be some more cars driving by right now. There's cars on both sides of the road. This is what the Evolve3 75 would sound like if you're walking next to mildly loud traffic and very little wind noise. Not much wind today. And that's what it would sound like. Okay, now we're on the Jabra Evolve3 85. There's some cars driving by. To be fair, this isn't a super loud road, but I would say it's mildly loud with traffic driving by. Definitely not like New York or anything like that, but we have traffic driving on both sides of the road. And that's what it sounds like.
All right, I'm out here with the godfather of Headset Advisor, and this is the Jabra Evolve3 series mic test versus power tools.
Okay, we're now on the Jabra Evolve 75. And as you can see, my dad is back there running the chainsaw. So I'm gonna just walk in circles around him so you can hear what it would sound like with the microphone in different spots of where that same noise is coming from. So here we are on the Jabra Evolve 3 75. Okay, we are now on the Jabra Evolve 385. My dad is running the chainsaw. I'm going to go ahead and walk in circles around him so we can hear what the microphone sounds like at different positions. If there was noise like a chainsaw going on around you. This is the Jabra Evolve 3 85 microphone next to a chainsaw. And for those of you wondering how the Evolve 285 compares to the new generation with the Evolve 385, this is the same test with the Evolve 285 and walking around someone that is running a chainsaw, revving it up and down. We are now on the Jabra Evolve 375. Same test. Lawnmower is going. Dog is barking nonstop. And to be fair, this lawnmower isn't overly loud because it's an electric one, but that barking noise is quite obnoxious. So this is what it would sound like on the Evolve 375. All right, we're now on the older Jabra Evolve 285, doing the same thing. We have my dad mowing the lawn and his dog nonstop barking. This is what it would sound like on the Jabra Evolve 285 with a lawnmower and dog nonstop barking.
And if anyone's wondering why my dad has a piece of tape on his hat covering the Sacramento Kings logo, because we're Sacramento Kings fans and it's always a disappointment every year. This year's no different.
Nope, it's always going to be next year.
Now back to the mic test. The next noise that we're gonna test is a weed whacker, as you see right there. But as a heads up, this is an electric weed whacker. It's not that gas powered weed whacker that you normally hear from landscapers. So just as a reference.
All right, now we are on the Evolve 375. And this is what it would sound like with that same test of someone running an electric weed whacker nearby you. And that is what the Evolve 375 would sound like. All right, on the Jabra Evolve 385, this is what it would sound like if there was a weed whacker running. And again, not the loudest of weed whackers, but still puts out some decent noise. This is what it would sound like on the Evolve3 85.
Now we're on the Jabra Evolve2 85, the previous generation. This is the difference with the Jabra Evolve2 85 and a weed whacker. And that is what it sounds like.
We're now on the Jabra Evolve3 75, and I have my dad talking to the right. He is reading a Sacramento Kings article. This is what it would sound like on the Jabra Evolve3 75. Now we're on the Jabra Evolve3 85, and my dad is reading the same article on the Sacramento Kings, and he's probably throwing up a little bit. So this is what it sounds like on the Evolve3 85.
All right, we are now on the Jabra Evolve2 85, doing that same test with my dad to the right, reading the same Kings article, probably throwing up a little bit. So this is what it sounds like on the Evolve2 85.
Now we're going to do a couple of different testing with our 3DO binaural ears to give you an idea of the ANC performance, but keep in mind, this test isn't perfect because nothing can duplicate real human hearing. And just so you're aware, all of these tests are done from a Windows computer connected with the Link 390 USB dongle. Next, we're going to run a wireless range test, and according to the specifications, Bluetooth range can reach up anywhere from 50 to 100 feet in ideal conditions. So what we're going to do is walk away from the computer and see how far we can go before the connection starts to drop out. And we're also going to put it to the test against a pair of consumer headphones that I'm sure you're very familiar with.
Okay, this is the range test. I have my laptop right here connected with the Jabra Link 390, and I have some different markers set. So this is right at the computer. This is what it would sound like, and what we're looking for is when the voice starts cutting out. So right now, we're at 10 feet on the Jabra Evolve3 series. Now let's make our way to the 30-foot marker. And now we are at the 30-foot marker, I'm recording the audio on my laptop, and we are going to see when the microphone starts cutting out. Now we are at the 50-foot marker. This is what it would sound like at the 50-foot marker. I'm not sure if it's cutting out yet, but we will find out. Now let's make our way to the 80-foot marker. This is pretty much in direct line of sight, not very many barriers. We are now at the 80-foot barrier, 80-foot marker. Let's go a little bit further. I'm not sure if it's cut out or not yet. We're in the backyard, and I'm at about the 100-foot marker. This is the Evolve3 series at the 100-foot marker. Now we're going to go back and see how it performs. Okay, in comparison to one of the competing models, the Sony XM6, we're going to do the same test. So I'm connected with the Sony XM6 to my laptop, and we're connected with Bluetooth. Let's see if there's any difference between the Jabra and Sony. Right now we're at 10 feet. 10 feet marker. Now let's make our way to the 30-foot marker. And we're about at the 30-foot marker. Again, this is direct line of sight, so the results vary depending on your environment and how many walls you're going through. So we're going to make it to the 50-foot marker. Sony XM6, 50-foot marker. Now let's make our way to the 80-foot marker. And as you can see back there, laptop's way back there. And we are now at the 80-foot marker. We'll find out if it's cutting out or not. Now let's go to the under this app.
With the same 3DO binaural microphone ears we tested earlier, we're also gonna do some audio quality tests so you can roughly hear what the audio sounds like from the perspective of someone wearing them. This should give you a better idea of how they perform for music, video, and everyday listening.
So I think if this team can take the mission to like try to help track that down, so if you get the commitment specifically from your campaign managers, hey, here is to, but also because our entire roadmap is completely public and because we ship these tiny little MVCs, a new feature will come out, but it'll be not really used.
Another feature that's worth mentioning is spatial sound. This technology helps make voices during calls or meetings sound more natural, almost as if someone's speaking right in front of you rather than inside of your head. These are settings that you can adjust within Jabra Direct, which you can download this on your mobile phone or your computer. For people spending long hours in meetings or on calls, this can really help reduce listening fatigue. Battery life is also very impressive on the series. You can get up to about 25 hours of talk time or as much as 120 hours of music playback, depending on your settings. And if you're in a hurry, just a few minutes of charging can give you several hours of additional use. If you made it this far, you've already heard the microphone test, sound test, and ANC demos. So now let's talk about the biggest reasons someone would buy this headset and a few things you should understand before purchasing one. First is the design and comfort. These are among the lightest headsets in this category I've tested, and the slim profile combined with the breathable ear cushions makes them very comfortable for long work sessions. Second is connectivity. The USB dongle gives you a much more stable connection, longer wireless range, and integrations with all your call and meeting software that Bluetooth headphones don't offer when you connect to your computer with Bluetooth. So when using the headset on things like Teams, Zoom, RingCentral, and so on, number one, you're gonna be able to get mute status when you're in a meeting. And second is you'll get features like being able to answer end calls when away from your computer. Third is flexibility. You can use these for work calls, music, travel, and everyday use with multiple connection options, whether you connect to your mobile phone with Bluetooth, connect to your computer with a USB dongle, you can use it as a wired headset with the USB cord, and on the Evolve 385, you have that aux cord to use it as a wired headset with a 3.5mm port. Fourth is battery life. With up to 25 hours of talk time and extremely fast charging, it's easy to get through multiple work days without worrying about a dying battery. Now let's talk about some of the cons to be aware of. First is proper microphone expectations. Although for a headset without a mic boom, the noise cancellation performs surprisingly well, but won't ever give you that same voice fidelity as a good quality mic at the corner of your mouth. Second is noise cancellation expectations. The ANC here is tuned more so for office environments and hybrid work rather than maximum noise isolation like you might find on travel headphones from Sony, Apple, and Bose. Also, something to note from my testing, the audio quality didn't give you as good of range for the volume that you do from music headphones. And I think Jabra does that for a reason, to protect your hearing from long use of using headphones for calls throughout the day. Third is price. This headset sits in a premium category, so the value really depends on whether you want a single headset for both work and personal use. This series of headphones is ideal for hybrid workers who want one device that works for both professional calls and personal use. If you spend a lot of time on meetings, but also want something for music, travel, or working remotely, this is exactly the type of headset Jabra designed this for. Now, you shouldn't get the Evolve 375 or 85 if you work in extremely noisy environments where microphone quality and voice isolation is critical. A traditional headset like the EPOS Impact 1000 or Yealink HA64 Pro with a mic boom will still provide a better overall combination of voice fidelity and noise suppression. It's also important to note that if you're connecting to a desk phone, you'll still want to get a traditional desk phone wireless headset like the Yealink HA64 Pro. And if your main goal is maximum noise cancellation for travel or flights, consumer headphones like Sony or Bose may still have the advantage there. Overall, the Evolve 3 series is trying to solve a very specific problem. Most people today either buy consumer headphones that aren't optimized for work calls or traditional office headsets that aren't great for music or travel. The Evolve 3 series attempts to bridge that gap. So if you want a single pair of headphones that can handle calls, meetings, music, travel, and everyday work, this is one of the most interesting options currently available. That's it for this video. If you found it helpful, give it a like as that helps support our company, and consider subscribing to our YouTube channel for more videos just like this in the future.